watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
I do not know what's going on here, folks. Hello, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, and hope you're having or have had a lovely day. I have no idea what is going on with this background or why the intro video just cut out there, but you are here, so that means you know exactly what we're here for. It is, of course, the prediction show, and that has really thrown me off because I was not expecting it. It is, well, it's the Championship Prediction Show, brought to you by Steve Lyon X and Foxy7clothing.co.uk for all your best Leicester City merchandise. That's where you want to go and check us out. So get over to there. How are we all doing? It's been a long day, my friend, hasn't it? It's been a long time. Some international namby-pamby qualifications took up the business end of football, so we were stuck with them. And, you know, things, you know, to say things you need to be stuck with in life. And unfortunately, we don't have Sir Mr. Steve Linux with us tonight. I know, sad face. Insert sad music here. But some things are like a bad smell, they say, you can't get rid of. So I thought that is only true and fair in my guest tonight. You may recognise him. I think he's the boss. He's like them undercover bosses. He won't tell me he's in charge of the show, but he pretends like he's not. It is, of course, the host with the most, unless this handsome face, Chris. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, I'm doing very well. But I do have to apologise. Oh, echo. I do have to apologise because that was me. I always wondered, if you're hosting and you're in LTIDD2, all the graphics, if I went into LTID1, would that still allow us both to do it? Now, the obvious answer to that is no, because he cut everything off. So I'm sorry, but don't give me the job at the end if it's on Undercover Boss UK.
Oh, I tell you, these apprentices, you can't get it right, but we are eventually able to get it right, that we're on the same show together. It's been a roller coaster few weeks for myself and you, Chris. You've had to deal with some right drab on here, but now don't worry, the entertainment's back. I am here, and we're here to predict the thing that we know nothing about, but we're doing very well as a club.
Some of us know more about it than others. Let's just say that. But yes, no, it's playing in it is easy. Predicting it's bloody hard.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I look back over some of the results, and I've told you, haven't I, Chris? I look at how some people have got some points on the board, and we'll go over these points that some people have collected. And I look at some of the results they had the cheek to get correctly. I'm thinking, how the bloody hell did you know they were going to win 4-2 or something like that? It is a very difficult division.
I think the problem is as well is that when we were in the Premier League, we knew how Liverpool were going to do. We knew how Norwich, when they were in, were going to do, because we'd been in there 9 seasons. This is all new. You know, I've got no idea whether Preston are going to beat Millwall. It's like, stick a finger, stick it in the wind and see what happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're probably doing a bit better than me, and we'll get on to that in a second, because I seem to have very little clue on how to predict this division, despite the fact that I'm the one that's telling you, oh, well, this team does really well at the start, and then they fall away, and I give you that advice, and you seem to do a lot better with it than I do, because you're looking at 2 teams there, like you said. Well, that's the form guide, isn't it? That's how everybody did a few weeks ago. Not many in the high.
Last week's points, that is.
Pardon?
That's last week's points.
Yeah, that's last week's points total. This is before the international break. And as you can see there, apart from Doug and I want to say Shane O down there, Yeah, Shane O.
Yeah.
Apart from Shane O'Mac, because I'm going to call him from now on to separate the pair of them, the two Shanes of the world. Not many people got too much in the way of right, did they, Chris?
No. I'm just trying to make that a little bit bigger for you.
Oh, he's trying to make my ugly face on there, isn't he? Yeah, so there you go. For those that you can't see it. Oh, he's little Chris.
That's what his ex-wife called him.
What I'm doing.
And he says, there we go. We got there. In fact, you know what? Get rid of the banner. We'll get rid of the banner. How do I do that? Come on. We say we organise this show, don't we? This show's so organised. Don't need to watch along on, mate. Don't need that. I'll need that. Two peas in the wrong pod. That's what we are. But
how many times does it take to pop up a football show?
Oh yeah, well, answers on a postcard or in the comment section if you want. But as you can see there, apart from Shane O'Mac on 11 and Doug, well, that 10 points might have done something to the league table yet again, but we'll see that in a sec. A lot of people. 1s and 2s for correct results and a few zeros in there. It wasn't a high scoring week, really, for anybody, was it, Chris?
No, not at all. And I didn't even get as well as I did on there. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Some late goals saved some people in that week. I know that much.
Yeah, but I'll take it.
Oh, who wouldn't? Oh, yeah, look. He's back on top. He's a dad one week and he's back on top the next. It's Doug. His lead was taken off him by Jeff the week before, but it didn't last long, I'm afraid, Jeff. Unbelievable. Jeff, he couldn't stay there for 2 weeks on a trot, but it's getting tight at the top there. In fact, it's tight all the way through, isn't it? 71, 75, 69, 66.
About 12.
Then,
yeah, I can't. Yeah. But you know me, mate. This is where I'm the tortoise in this race full of hares. I'm just slowly catching you up. People are forgetting to do their predictions, which is helping me. So it might help me get back up to the top. But yeah, it's a good battle.
I don't want to say you are
one off bottom because the guy that's bottom hasn't predicted 3 weeks.
Well, I mean. That sounds like a told you problem, doesn't it? If you ask me, it's not my fault. That's like saying that you didn't win a game of football because your team didn't score goals. That sounds like their problem, not mine.
But I'm not. I'll take that.
It's a Champions League spot, isn't it? It's a Champions League spot, and maybe if FA corrupts us enough with some money, we might turn this into a Champions League format for it. So you'd be qualifying, mate. Because points do make prizes, and you know, there's the man of the hour, Daddy Doug, as he put his comments in for his score predictions over this weekend's football. Congratulations to him and young baby boy that him and Rebecca have had. Congratulations to you again, sir. Diddy Doug, yeah, Diddy Doug next to Daddy Doug, and well, we won't say anything about the mother. We'll leave her alone. She's gone through enough having Daddy Doug giving dad jokes to the son already.
I say
yeah, I mean, there is always good. There is always good things and bad things about having children, isn't it? And the good and bad comes with the fact that the good thing is it's a beautiful, healthy child that they've had, a lovely baby boy they've had. Unfortunately for that poor child, he's going to have to grow up a Liverpool fan. But I digress. That's Diddy Doug's problem for the future. Well, it's funny that me, my brother, my two other brothers are all Leicester fans. My dad's a Wolves fan and my mum's a Cov fan. Work that out.
You love it. You love it if Nathan grew up an Everton fan.
Oh, I think you'd be disowned. I think you'd have to take him in. We get him on the show and he'd be on here saying, Uncle Chris, Dad's kicked me out again. Oh, yeah. But here we are. We say this is the hardest league to predict, and it's very rightly so. And looking at the predictions of people giving me, it's a very close situation in points. We've got a double header this week because of the midweek games as well. So we've got game weeks 12 and 13 to go through. So we'll get straight into it then, Chris. First one on my list. We'll go off my list as I get it off the BBC, not yours, because otherwise my head will be so far up my arse you won't be able to see my face. Preston versus Millwall. It is the early kickoff tomorrow. I believe it's 12:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
You said this one's difficult to predict. Preston on a bit of a free fall, though, aren't they? They're doing a little bit of a fallout, which is great. And if anyone's wondering why aren't we talking about Rotherham and Ipswich, that got postponed about an hour ago. So that will be a one-off thing. Probably won't do a show for it. I'll just do a one-off prediction for it when it gets rearranged. So that's why we're not discussing.
I was very surprised. When you were on Sky Live, they didn't sort of send them out in flippers to play the game.
Well, I was thinking they'd go out in snorkel gear and make them play water football, well, whatever. But no, they actually did see sense and call the game off with enough time to stop fans making the trip to Rotherham. So that's why, if anyone's thinking, oh, you've missed out the early game, no, it's been postponed. I'll do that on the side when it gets rearranged because I'm sure it'll just be a standout fixture on its own. So there's no point doing a show over it. But Preston versus Millwall is the early kickoff pending tomorrow, assuming no more postponements happen. That's me, Doug. Unfortunately, I'm going to mute it when I finish talking to let Chris go. I don't know why I'm being so echoey, but the floor is yours, mate. Preston versus Millwall.
Yeah, and as Doug has mentioned there, Gary Rowett got sacked the other day. And again, I'm looking Millwall, the 15th in the table. Yeah, I mean, all right, they're in the bottom half, but the 15 points, a win would take them into 6th where Birmingham are. Why are they? I don't get it. All right, when you look at us this time last season, we were losing. I don't think we'd got 15 points by this number of games. But I just can't understand it. I actually also, I'm not surprised at Preston. I mean, they're still somehow sat in 3rd. And yet the Preston that turned up to play us were bloody awful. How they ever got to be top of that division, God only knows. They always fall off. No, not normally this early, if I'm honest with you. And I was going to go for a Millwall win. Do I still, even though they've sacked Gary Rowett? Yes, I am. Because I think just Preston, are in absolute... they've won 1 in 5. Millwall, let's have a look. Oh, they've won 2 in 5. So, 2-0 Millwall.
He's gone 2-0 Millwall. And Scott's agreeing with you. He's gone 3-0 Millwall. It was Gary Rowett, ex-Leicester, obviously. He played for us. And he's not had the best of time in management. I think he got sacked to Birmingham, didn't he? A while back, and now this. So he's not most joyful a manager. I just think this is a game that Preston won't want to lose. And if it was at Millwall, I probably would have joined you with saying they'd win. But you'll be glad to know, Chris, given the state of the league and how good I am at predicting things clearly, you'll be glad to know that I haven't gone for a Millwall win. I have sat on the proverbial because I've gone for a 1-1 draw. So you'll be hoping that Millwall... Yeah, I've got the splinters, mate. I've got the splinters in the watery pitch. So I've gone for 1-1. John also has agreed with me, so he might be sending me a $5 over to change his predictions now in the league if he knows he's gone the same as me.
When you say it doesn't worry me.
No, he doesn't. I'm glad. I'm definitely in this. It shouldn't worry you that I don't agree. We should be doing backflips, not demanding a recount. But that's the early fixture out the way. And you're talking about teams on the rise that we thought may be up there. We're saying Preston. Surprised that they're still up there. They went top of the league for a couple of weeks, and we were surprised that they're still in 3rd. A team that's maybe just starting to find its feet a little bit is Blackburn. They're at home to Cardiff. Now, they've got a bit of catching up to do, haven't they, Blackburn? If they're gonna replicate last season and go a place higher, because last season they missed out on the playoffs by goal difference, they need to start getting these wins and getting them together now. This international break coming to an end needs to be them firing wins, especially at home. Cardiff are a bit like Millwall for me. They're just a stale team that's stuck in the Championship, and the games you expect them to win, they go and lose, and the games you expect them to lose, they somehow go and get something for it. So do you see a potential there for Cardiff, or is this kind of like a must-win? Not necessarily a 6-pointer in the aspects of speaking, Chris, but do you think it's a game that Blackburn, if they have playoff aspirations, they have to win?
I think Blackburn do have to win it, yes. Again, there's rumours that it's not all well in the camp. The owners, I don't think, have got the money to pump in that Thomason wanted to take. Because I always think when you are that close to qualifying, you just need to sometimes take that risk. All right, you can be a little bit silly. We look at Leeds, they chased the dream, and look what happened to them. But they were so close to qualifying last year. But then again, we are literally, like you say, 11 games into the season. You're looking at, what Middlesbrough did last year, came from nowhere. Look at what Forest had done the year before or this couple of seasons ago when they came from nowhere towards the end. But the problem with Blackburn is that they're 18th in the form table at the moment. They've beat Queen's Park Rangers last week, but then not been awful, Brad. You and me, just the two of us, you in goal, me up front, we could beat QPR at the moment. So I don't give them any credit for that. But they'd lost 4 on the trot before that. Cardiff, meanwhile, are 6th. Not only in the actual table itself, if I'm correct. They're 8th in the table, but they're 6th in the form league. So I say this can only go one way. Cardiff, they lost to Watford somehow last week, but they did win 4 on a trot. So neither team's got a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Stability.
Momentum.
They're not winning. They're up and down. Win 1, lose 1, draw 1. It's not like win, 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 win. I'm going to go for a Cardiff win here, in all honesty. I'm going to stick with 2-1 and go 2-1 Cardiff.
He's going 2-1 to Cardiff. Well, you'd be very happy to know that I haven't backed Cardiff to win this one either. See, look at the joy I'll bring to your face. I think Blackburn need to make a statement. I think they need to really put, a marker on this division now. Yeah, okay, QPR, not exactly the hardest team to beat right now, but also you can only beat what's in front of you. And they've not been doing that as of late. And, you could argue, okay, in one of them games they played us, who is clearly the side that's right out in front right now. I mean, saying that early doors or not, it doesn't matter. We are right out in front from the chasing pack. So you can maybe go, okay, one of them you can forgive. I don't know how the other results really panned out or how close they were. But, it's a game. And I've gone stupidly. Well, I say stupidly because I'm second bottom in the league. I'm allowed to say that. I've gone 3-0 Blackburn. So you'll be very happy to know that... John makes me feel a bit better going for it because he's a lot higher up than I am. Although so is everybody in this league, so it doesn't matter me. But then top of the league, Doug goes 2-1 Cardiff, and now I feel like I regret my life choices. So you've gone 2-1 Cardiff, I've gone 3-0 Blackburn. But this is a game where I feel maybe with a certain biasness in the audience, if he's watching Anthony, he probably won't. But I feel like this might be a game that we maybe not score-wise agree on, but we may agree on the outcome. And it is Bristol City versus the draw specialist Coventry City. Bristol City on the day, Chris, don't really concede too many goals. They were probably, weirdly enough, out of our last 5 fixtures, our toughest test in terms of who gave us the most run for the money and looked like taking something out of us at 0-0 and only winning 1-0 in the end. against Coventry, whose middle name is 1-1 draw. I mean, has that influenced your... you think I don't research these now? Being bottom, I've got to do all the research I can, mate. Where do you see this one going, mate?
Well, funnily you said 1-1 was their favourite score. That's what I've gone for. I mean, Bristol City are in 14th. Coventry, like you say, the draw specialists are in 30th. They've drawn 6 of their 11 games, Coventry. Again, last season's losing finalists. We know they've got problems behind the scenes with everything at Coventry, and I don't want to see them go out of business. But I just can't see there's anything. I'm going to get the splinters now, and I'm going to go 1-1. But then you look at the form. Coventry are in 9th in the form because they've only lost the one, but Bristol City are in 11th. So there's a cigarette paper between them, if you like. So yeah, I'm going 1-1.
He's going 1-1, folks. 2 minutes, 21 minutes and 20 seconds. You can record it. He's gone 1-1. Well, that might be, but I've sat on the fence. I've gone for the Coventry 1-1 speciality, mate. You have also fallen into the trap and backed Coventry for the draw. He's locked it in, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, 21 minutes and 20 seconds. He confirmed his 1-1, and that's also what I've gone for, mate. I think they're too close in form. Well, Doug's been kinder. He's gone for a 1-0 Coventry win. I just think they're the draw specialists, and it just sounds about right. I thought you might go 0-0. I thought you might have had it as the ball on ITV4, but no, you did join me in the 1-1. So I'll just put you down for no points for that game, mate, already, because you're backing me. See, Scott went 0-0. He maybe has better sense than both of us. But interesting one here, because we've talked a lot already before about the Huddersfield manager, haven't we, the situation there. They have got the man that Sheffield Wednesday may be regretting letting go now as their manager, who replaced Neil Warnock. He's already got a point on the board as the manager. I know suffered a bit of defeat as well, but that's going to be Huddersfield throughout the season, it looks like. But they're taking on a team that, well, you've not been too kind about already with QPR. They are at home, Huddersfield. Do you see the whipping boys getting whipped here and Huddersfield picking up all 3 points? Or can we get you off that fence, Chris?
You can. And I'm going to say, yes, I agree with 100%. I think QPR will lose this. They're in free fall. The fans are going against the manager. He doesn't want to get a haircut because I think he feels he'll lose all his powers. But, I mean, they weren't happy last season. They're not happy this season. I've got them to go down at the end of the season. And, I mean, the fact that Sheffield Wednesday are down there is the only thing that's sort of saving QPR, really, and Rotherham, who are probably going to go back down with them. Huddersfield, yeah, you're quite right. I think Sheffield Wednesday will regret losing him, especially when it's to a rival. But I am going to go 2-1 to Huddersfield on this one.
He's gone 2-1. Wow, Chris. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
You've not agreed with me.
Well, the good news is I've not agreed with you at 2-1.
Okay.
But the bad news is I have seen sense for this division, and I have gone for Huddersfield to win. I've gone 2-0 Huddersfield, though. I don't even give QPR the service of scoring a goal. I've gone 2-0. So, you'll be hoping at 2-0 that QPR grab a goal so you can still prove me wrong, as always on this show. So, could have gone worse for you.
The form league at the moment.
Well, I think you've been generous giving them a goal then. Now then, 2 teams, one that is very Scrooge McDucky, if you will, if you want to pardon the phrase. Hull City.
Sorry.
Look at this from Doug.
Oh, wow, Doug's getting cocky at the top, isn't he? He's willing to drop points on a QPR.
Well,
so you want to win now?
You need the point. You haven't gone for some of these weird results.
Well, I think I could, but then people might get suspicious that I'm giving Doug some money to give me some help in this division, so I try not to. But going on to the next fixture, you've got a very heavenly team away to Hull City, who are the stingy Scrooges of the division. They're picking up points. They haven't lost a lot of games under their manager since he came in at the midway point of last season. I think when we played them, it was something like 7 defeats in 33 games. They've extended that now with only a defeat or 2 more. So they're very difficult to beat against a Southampton side that, well, they've just started to pick up, haven't they? They had quite a blip, and they played not too dissimilar football to Leicester. So it might have been a surprise to many that they were playing the way that the Enzo way, and it wasn't working out as well. Just showing you how difficult it is to play the way we play football. But they have just before the international break, they had a little bit of reprieve with their results, but they are away at Hull City. I mean, I would say this is the toughest game to call for game week 12 at least. Chris, where are you sitting on it?
I've got the fence firmly between me butt cheeks. I'm going to have to be honest with you. Look, Hull beat us, and that might be the highlight of the season. I don't think they're going to get necessarily into the playoffs. But I don't think that they're going to be in trouble. I mean, they were so happy when they beat us. You'd have thought they'd have won the league. And yet, I mean, they're sat in 14th in the form table. They've only won 1 of the last 5. Southampton actually sit in 15th in the form table, 1 place below them, although they have won 2, but they have lost 3, where Hull City have only lost the 1. In the table itself, Hull are 9th, Southampton are 10th. Again, it's that fag paper syndrome. And I've gone, you'll be pleased to know, for my first Desmond.
There we go, folks. He's gone for a Desmond. We knew it wouldn't take long. I think last time we did this, it took him about 4 hours to give me a Desmond, but we got there. not so far into the game week. He's gone for a Desmond. Well, it's double joy for you, Chris, because I've not gone for a Desmond. I've not gone for a draw. I have. This is one of them that, for me, I decided I can't sit on the fence because I feel like one of these teams is going to get 3 points. And I just looked at it and I thought, if it was at Southampton, it'd be Southampton. Although I probably shouldn't say that with their home form. No. And if it's Hull, I'm going to back Hull. And because it's at Hull, I've gone Hull City to win 2-1.
Well, the good news is there for you, or the bad news for you, is that Doug's gone for Southampton win.
Has Doug been having too many baby formulas? Is he letting it get to his head? I don't know.
Look where you are.
Exactly. He's a whopping, I think, 35 points ahead of me, so I shouldn't be saying anything at this point. But I could be the Middlesbrough of this division, and that's a shameless way to link into the next game, Chris, because Middlesbrough are at home to Birmingham. Now, I questioned more than anything. I tried to get you engaged on twisting your arm on Michael Carrick. Middlesbrough have been a team for many a season now that seem to have one really good season, and then they match it, then they follow it up with a really dire season. But just as things were starting to look really bad for Middlesbrough, they've picked up a couple of decent results, and they've still got a way to go, but they are climbing up that table. And they're at home to one of the very handful of teams that I say are dull as dishwater in this division. They are at home. Mind the gap, Doug, yourself. I'm coming for you. I'm giving you the Spurs treatment there. That's going to backfire me badly. Oh, what's that? Brad gets 10 bonus points per score. Okay, I'll just add that into the rule book. I'll still be bottom. Middlesbrough are at home to Birmingham. Home win, surely, Chris, the way that he's got them going now. There's got to be Middlesbrough up and firing, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And as we know, Birmingham, changed their manager. Because, Birmingham are in such dire trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, but they did so after a win, Chris. Is that not just madness in its own right to sack a manager after a win?
We've seen it before where it was in sort of in situ that they were going to sack the manager, and then the fact that they got the win purely was incidental. Because I think there wasn't the fact that they wanted him out, and I can't remember who it is now, but there wasn't the fact that they wanted him out because of the form. They wanted him out because they wanted Wayne Rooney in, because they see Wayne Rooney as this superstar name that's going to attract people. He hasn't got a particularly good record as a manager. I mean, he did all right at Derby. He would have kept them up if they hadn't had the points deducted. Then he went off to somewhere, and then did he end up in America? I'm not sure if there's another one between the two or not. But I hope they get stuff now because, after, like you said, the way that they've gone around it, and it's funny that the Birmingham Leicester game's been moved for Sky. I don't know why that is, but there we go. I know. I can't stand Birmingham now. I think if you're going to sack a manager, have a damn good reason. And the funny thing is that I was once almost sacked because not necessarily I was doing anything wrong, but everything I did not quite right was deemed to be totally wrong. But that was because, they wanted to bring somebody else in. As it happened, I got another job before they got rid of me, so it didn't matter. But I think what they've done is despicable. I hope they burn and sink. Rooney, I mean, is he going to really? He can't even cut it in America. And that says how bad it is. Carrick, look, it was a bit silly last season. Everybody was going, we should get Michael Carrick at Leicester. He'd had one season. And he turned, I don't think he'd had a full season, and he turned it round for Middlesbrough. They got rid of the striker, I believe, which they didn't replace, and so that's why they struggled at the start of the season. He is turning it round again now. Maybe he will be a good manager, but let's give him a couple of seasons yet to do that. I just want Birmingham to lose. They've got that American.
Chris, don't be shy. Tell us how you really feel.
Birmingham are my new Norwich. Let's just say that now. Birmingham are my new Norwich. Cannot stand them. Sooner Norwich and Watford go up than Birmingham. But, they've got this American quarterback who knows fuck all about soccer, has come in as their big, owner or part owner, I should say. He's got all these ideas. And for them, you know what it's like for the Americans? It's more about name than it is about ability. And that's what they've gone for. I've gone, and I'm being very generous to Birmingham here, because I've gone 2-1 to Middlesbrough.
Are you sure?
Fuck off, Birmingham.
I don't know if anyone picks up on this, right? But Chris doesn't really like Birmingham. There's subtle hints in that. I don't know if anyone heard it. Let me know in the comments if you picked up on it, just as I did. Maybe it's just my immense-sized brain that heard it, but he does seem to have a bit of a disdain for Birmingham City.
We are missing Stephen's hatred of Spurs and Arsenal. I do feel like I'm going to bring that to the show.
Well, you are definitely bringing the balance to the show as it is. But yes, I mean, I said to you, didn't I, when it happened, that I wouldn't be surprised now if the Birmingham games magically ended up on telly because of the Rooney thing. I agree with you. Derby, when he had nothing to lose and everything to gain by managing, probably helped him. A good inspirational chat in the dressing room probably got them a few points. But aside from that, what's he really done? Begs to be the question. And I think he's taken a job where, again, Birmingham are that mid-table, low-bracket championship club. If he keeps them up and he keeps them up well, he's done okay. I mean, I suppose I've got more respect for his managerial path than I ever will have for Lampard and Scott Parker and managers like that. But that's a different. Are you on drugs, Doug? Did you get some of the gas and air? Did you take some of the gas and air when she was giving birth, mate? Are you still feeling the effects? Because oh dear. Well,
how the hell is he?
I don't, mate. You know what? It's results like these. They'll come in, Birmingham will win 2-1, and I'll have to give them 3 points for it. But no, I have not been so nice to Birmingham. I haven't been so bad in terms of how many goals they'll concede, but a bit like the QPR game, I've not given Birmingham a goal. I've gone 2-0 Middlesbrough because I think they're turning form. And I didn't like Birmingham anyway. They just gave me another excuse to not like them by having sacked the manager after a win, and then my wife asked me to put ketchup on the shopping list. Now I can't read anything.
Well, you know what? That's hindsight for you, isn't it?
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, I get migraines from these two being on the same show as these two. Even the ones in the background, I get migraines from them. Moving on to a team that you're obviously just as fond of. I think it was Reese and a few other people have used this terminology before. It's the proverbial stripper on a pole club, isn't it? Norwich at home to Leeds United. Obviously, they get up and then they find the grease and come straight back down that pole from the Premier League. Your second most hated club now, thanks to Birmingham. But they're at home to Leeds, who had a dodgy start, Chris, but have been making that rise in the form table now, a bit more settled. They've got rid of the toxicity at the club, it seems, and looking good here. Where do you see this going? Shall I just put you down for like 12-0 Leeds because you hate these so badly?
Do you know, I don't mind Norwich when they're in the Championship. I just don't like them when they come up, because basically when they come up, they just don't give it a go. You know, it's like, we've come up, thanks very much, we'll get the money. And yeah, that keeps the club afloat. The club aren't going to go bust or whatever. And maybe they haven't got the money that the other owners have got. You know, I mean, Delia's, should have to go and sell another, write another book to get a player in. But I mean, Norwich are in seventh, so they're there, but they've only won 1 in 5. Leeds, like you say, I mean, they've climbed up the table. I thought they were going to struggle, but they've turned it round. It's interesting because, of course, Leeds have got the ex-Norwich manager in charge now. So Leeds have won 3 in the last 5. In the form table, so Norwich are 16th. But Leeds are 5th. I was going to go for another Desi, but I think I'm going to go 1. It's my favourite score tonight. 1-2 to Leeds.
He's gone for a Leeds United 2-1 win. Now, it's funny you say that you wouldn't go for another Desi because you're very close to going for a Desmond. But this is where I went for my first Desmond of the game. I couldn't separate the two of them because Norwich are at home. And I don't know why this whole sorts of stigma in the game of football, but I just thought if it was at Leeds, I'd fancy Leeds to win this one and edge it out with the crowd. And we know what Leeds' atmosphere can be like on a good day, but at Norwich, Gordon Bennett, Scott, Ruddy heck, that's a very high ask for that game. But I couldn't see it. I've gone for it. Paul, you don't get no kiss ass points on here for just because Chris is here, just going for his score.
Yes.
Oh well, I should have maybe gone for a Leeds win. Well, then again, he backed other teams to win. It baffled me, so I'm not listening to Doug anymore until he goes and gets like 20 points this week with everything he's predicted. But yeah, you went for a Leeds win. I've gone for a Norwich win. I think the stigma for Fart going back there, I don't think it's really going to be bothering him. He'll be too busy talking about German sausages or something like that. I don't know, my door just blew open and I think there's ghosts in this house. But moving on to the 2 red and white teams in the division is Stoke at home to Sunderland. Sunderland, who came up with Ipswich and Plymouth. They're not doing anywhere near as good as Ipswich are. And the only good thing about Ipswich game being postponed is it means we stay top regardless of the weekend results. But they're not doing as bad as Sheffield Wednesday are they? They're doing okay. But they're against. Well, if I said there was a team that you could rename the Championship, for me, it's always been Stoke City. They've been here that long. They've merged into the Championship itself. Chris, this for me has the potential to potentially be the bore on ITV4. Last on match of the day, as we would say in the Premier League. Where are you seeing this go?
Completely different to you, if I'm honest with you. Thank God. Stoke, they're 4th from bottom. They've won 1 in 5. They've only won 3 all season. They didn't park the bus when they came to play us. They built a fucking coach park. They were awful. I had I went onto a podcast, an actual podcast, not on YouTube, for Stoke before the game, and we were talking about the different things, and they were saying, yeah, they've had lots of injuries, which I felt sorry for them, because we've been in that position. They've also said that they brought a lot of new players in, and they're not gelled yet. And I thought, well, so have we. We're in the same position. Alex Neil there as the manager. They were goddamn awful. I think they were probably one of the worst teams I have seen us out of the 11 we've played so far. They are definitely probably the worst team. They were just, and Sunderland, I've got them to go up. We did a show, and it's still on the channel if you want to check it. LTID TV under the pick, which is our latest shows, and it's sort of the quarter season review. No, it's who's up, who's down. We did a prediction show, and I had Sunderland to finish second behind Leicester. So I think Sunderland are doing well. They are in fourth at the moment, 3 wins in the last 5. I am dreading Tuesday. I'm not going to lie to you when they roll up in Leicester. But Sunderland are in 7th in the form table. Stoke are 21st. This is going to be all one-way traffic. I'm going to go 4-0 Sunderland.
I said I'd started doing my research and looking. Look at teams. See, I knew Sunderland had climbed up a bit, and I knew they were in and there and around in the playoff areas. And I had this silly idea that Stoke weren't too far behind them in the form book until you just read it out there, and just completely made me feel like an absolute donkey. I mean, I think you could get the "I don't believe it" button going here, because in my infinite wisdom, I've done a dunk in this case in a weird sense, because I've backed Stoke to win 1-0. And if you ever had to question why, ladies and gentlemen, Brad, the Premier League prediction king, the 2-time Premier League champion, is not doing very well in the Championship, that's why. So no, my luck, now I've said that, though, that'll be the only game that I pick up any points for that week. It'll be Stoke that win it.
Can I just say, when you were listening, you've done your homework and you've seen where Stoke are, etc., and I was listening to you talk, I was thinking, he's copied his homework off somebody else. The dumb kid in the class, he's the one that you've chosen to copy it off. So, but I didn't like to say anything. I thought, no, I'll let you just carry on. But that's a classic. It's a classic. It really is. Oh my God.
When they say do a test, just change a few answers. That's the one where you think, you don't change that one, everybody should know that. Paul's at least gone for a draw to give me some hope that I might be right. Doug, must have not banged his head when he wrote that one, because he's gone 3-1 Sunderland. 3-1 Sunderland. Did I say 1-0 Stoke? I meant 6-1 Sunderland. No, too late to change. Okay, it's too late to change.
And you can't now. I just want to say, I'm surprised you didn't change that before you read it out.
Well, I thought about it, but I'd already posted it into the group, so I couldn't change it too much. Otherwise, I might change it, because of if I keep it, I try and do it in there so they know beforehand what I'm saying is what I've gone with. Otherwise, I might have. We're going to skip over a game in my list of alphabetical order, because it's a game that this channel has probably got a bit of biasness towards, and it follows suit in the predictions. So we're going to come to them at the end. We'll save the best till last. We're going to go and talk about Watford, who are playing now. We have some history with them. We all remember that pre-season friendly we played over 2 legs against them in that thing called a playoff semi-final. We also know how that turned out for both clubs the following couple of seasons afterwards. So it wasn't all that bad. But they're playing a team that I have now developed a fond hatred for. And it's one of them where I don't hate the fans, and it's nothing against the players. I hate their ownership. I hate the way they've done it. I think they deserve to go down. I think it's wrong how you've managed to take a team that was managed towards one of the biggest and greatest playoff semi-final comebacks ever. 4-0 down, second leg, had to win the game 5-1 just to take it, just to go through. And they sacked him. They sacked him before he could even do anything. The chance to win the go. And if you haven't figured out who they're playing here, it's Watford at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Chris, I'm going to save you a job. I don't care if you've gone for the same as me here. I despise these as much as you despise Birmingham for pretty much the same reasons. It pretty much sounds like. I've gone 2-0 Watford, Chris. Shall I put you down for a Watford win, or do I have to dock you points for saying Sheffield Wednesday are going to get anything?
No, I'm just impressed that Watford have gone 11 games and not sacked the manager yet. Who wouldn't have thought?
The game's not kicked off yet, Chris. It could still happen.
Well, this is true. Birmingham sacking the manager before Watford. What's going on? Look, Sheffield Wednesday, they're getting everything they deserve, to be honest with you. Their fans must be absolutely pissed off with their owner. They're going down. They're not even going to get off the bottom, I don't think. Watford, they're not doing quite as well. I mean, they are in 20th. They haven't, excuse me, they haven't won in 5, but this is going to be the one that they do win. 3-1 Watford.
3-1 Watford. I'm actually a little bit disappointed you gave Sheffield Wednesday a goal, but I suppose we have to be charitable at a point. Doug there's gone 4-0 Watford. He's gone for a big win. He's starting to see sense near the bottom end of the table. These are the results, Chris. These are the ones, I mean, more than likely that Watford will win 4-0. I don't know who he is. I don't know. Is that 2 in the international break? Was he? I didn't know that.
Who is it?
Exio Manones. I don't know. Doug's a human footballing fact machine. While you're Googling it up, we'll talk about the preliminary, the second to last game on our list. The Baggies, the secondary yo-yo. So wait, Sheffield Wednesday sacked their second manager of the season.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, they did. They appointed him before the start of the season because they sacked the new Huddersfield manager. Madness. Sheffield Wednesday, you are the Watford of the division. It's the irony. You can go on.
3-0. I'm not even going to give him a goal. And if this ends up as 3-1, I want half a point because I got it originally. 4-0. Doug has gone to Watford. Watford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Paul has gone.
Sorry, I was being asked. You've gone 3-0. I'm happy to change that. Scott, get out, Scott.
You make it look good.
I know, stop it, Scott. You're not supposed to be doing that. I don't need that sort of charity from you. Go back Sheffield. If you're in the league, mate, I'd have you under financial investigations for your way you're going. But there we go. Someone's got to back Sheffield. West Brom versus Plymouth. I mean, Plymouth back in the Championship. It's not gone too great, but they're probably looking at a few teams below them saying thank you for having such an awful start to the season because they picked up a few wins, a few shock results. I mean, they had that, was it 6-2 win over Norwich? That was a ridiculous game that they had. So we know they're capable of beating teams like this. And West Brom probably been a bit disappointed with the start they've had these first 11 games. Chris, would you say? I mean, their form's kind of chopped and changed throughout. They did scrape a couple of wins as well by the odd goal. Where do you see this one going, Chris? I don't know. I didn't get you Ginksters before you bring that up.
You know what? You went to Cornwall and Ginkster started advertising on the TV.
It's like they knew, mate. But that's not a proper pasty anyway. It's a fake pasty. It's like a wish order. Instead of getting it from Amazon Prime, mate, you can't get it the same.
Honestly, I'm so disappointed, and that is 5 points taken off you for not bringing me back against us. Sucking up to the boss, it always works.
And it's 15 points off you for asking for one.
Fair points, fair do. Okay, Plymouth. I said they would go straight back down when they came up. No disrespect to them, but it's just the size of the team and the setup there. It's like Luton Town in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I always thought they were going to struggle. That said, I'm happy that they are struggling, but happy that they're not bottom because I like the little teams to do well. So I was kind of mixed feelings. That said, they are in 18th position, where West Brom are up into 11th. And if we're going on form at the moment, West Brom are actually in 8th. They've only lost one of the last 5, which was last time out to Birmingham in the Birmingham derby, where Plymouth are actually down in 20th. They've only won 1 and drawn 1 in the last 6. That is, in fact. So Plymouth aren't going to get anything from this, I'm afraid. 2-0 to West Brom.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of them fixtures where I suppose any result is. I know it's going to sound simple because you say that about any game, but this is one of them results where they're probably the only 2 teams that I don't really care for their form. You think I'd have said that about Stoke with how I predict them to win that game. But this is one of them genuinely. I know you say they've only won 1 in the last 6, but that win was a big win against Norwich and they managed to get a tight draw. And funny enough, I've agreed with the man you just put up on screen there with his predictions. I went for a West Brom win because we nearly went for a Desmond, but I thought, no, I'm going 2-2 crazy here. See what I did there? 2-2.
Yeah.
I'll stop. I'll stop. But no, I just thought West Brom might just have enough. I wasn't going to go too big just in case Plymouth were able to kind of keep the score down. So I've gone 2-1 to West Brom. So is that what you went for? Because I think I've wrote yours down in.
I went
2-0.
You went 2-0.
Yeah.
So I knew that. I was testing you. Well done, you passed.
Thank you.
We've saved the best till last. Table topping Foxes are travelling all the way to Wales to hopefully make sure that the sheep get nice and lubed with tears when Leicester finish with them. Saying them more. I'm sorry. If anyone knows how to bring this show's ratings down, it's me. Might have to put an 18 warning on the show, mate, in the podcast version. But they are travelling to the valleys of Swansea, who, to many people's surprise, are really struggling this season. Now, I will give you my score prediction action, but I will say this much. This is one that, with the Predictions League, has a lot of biasness into it, and I can tell you that with a few results. There's a certain Craig, I'm not saying that he's better on Leicester to lose, but he does like to try and think he's being really sensible and smart by not giving us the win. Chris, Leicester on fire. Should Swansea's defence be terrified of Vardy or Iheanacho or Mavididi or just everybody in Leicester at the moment? Madison could score past them, surely. What are you saying, Chris?
I did a Swansea show earlier in the week, and then the guy came on last night for us. And I hope, by the way, I can just say, Luke, the Swansea fan, his wife was pregnant and he was late coming on because he had to rush her to hospital. She had a few not expected pain. So all the best to Luke and Mrs. Luke. I hope she is well, sir. Nobody's probably watching this, but anyway. Swansea is actually the game so far that I think is going to give us the biggest problems because they lost Pirot, whatever he's called, but they got Yates in, the Blackpool striker, who seems to have just taken over where Perot left. Swansea, I've got them actually sneaking into the playoffs at the end of the season. They have been on a very good run. They are only sat in 12th, but they've not lost in 5. They've won 4 and drawn 1. Look, I don't need to tell you about Leicester. You know, it's win, lost, win. So, yeah, let's enjoy it. But Swansea are actually up to 4th in the Prediction League. Now, in the prediction league, in the form table for the last 6 games. Now, I had started off when I did the Swansea podcast on the Tuesday. I'd gone for a draw. And to be quite honest with you, Swansea were very happy that they would take that if we got it. And if we only came away with a point, because I think this is going to say it as it's an away game, I would be happy with a point at this stage. But at the last minute on the show yesterday, I changed my mind and I went for 2-1 to Leicester City, which is what Craig went for. And believe it or not, it's what the Swansea fan Luke went for as well. So I've gone for 2-1 to the team that is sitting atop of the table and is smashing it at the moment.
Yeah, that we certainly are. We are the kings of the championship at the moment. And I take on board what you're saying with Swansea. They have found a nice run of form in these last 5 games. They're probably one of a few teams that were cursed in the international break because they had such a torrid time at the start of it that they just started to play catch up. And I think you said earlier that Millwall could win and jump from 15th up to the playoffs. So it tells you just how a couple of good results here and there can really get you back in the race for the promotion zone. I used to say that I would go for a Leicester special because early in the season, 2-1 was the Leicester way. And what I've noticed recently is Leicester go 4-1, 4-1, 3-0, 3-0 is what I'm assuming is going to happen because Leicester have played teams where we expected them to have close games. Blackburn, they won 4-1. When they played Preston at home, we expected it to be a close game. They won 3-0. They played Southampton away. We expected it to be a close game, and they won 4-1. So going off that basis, we've had 2 4-1 results. So surely Leicester are going to have 2 3-0 results. And it's like what I'm going to say, Chris, because you've put the right prediction up for what I've gone for. I have gone for Swansea 0, Leicester City 3. I think Leicester will keep going. I think they'll keep psychologically hurting Ipswich and teams like that by getting a win. I know Ipswich will have that game in hand, but you'd rather play the game than have them in hand. We've always said that, Chris, me and you. And I think Leicester will... I don't think that much, mate. I don't think they're that easy. Maybe if we were playing Sheffield Wednesday, we might throw them up front and they'd score. But yeah, I mean, eventually we will draw a game. It's going to happen, and we're going to suffer another defeat. We're not. I mean, I'd be very, very surprised if we didn't suffer another defeat. Although I'm starting to run out of teams to think who that might be. At the moment, I'm down to about Leeds and Ipswich are the only 2 teams. Maybe Sunderland in the midweek. We'll get on to them later on. But I'm starting. We're obviously going to. Well, you'd assume we're going to draw a game at some point in the season. Although it would really be good, wouldn't it, if we only had like 1 loss and won the other games? But I can't see that happening. But I've gone for.
I would be more confident. But it's at Swansea. So if it was a 2-2, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I know, I understand that, and I think that I can understand why maybe some people have, through blue-tinted glasses, gave Leicester the win, but they've thrown a bit of caution to the win with like a 2-1 or a 1-0 win to Leicester away from home. I just think Ashley Williams will be glad he's not playing because he had a torrid time when he played against us in the Premier League with Mahrez, didn't he? So I know Mahrez isn't here either.
Right, and the second Swansea game, we didn't have Vardy, and everyone was going to struggle.
Yeah, and I think, and then we beat them 4-0, and it was like Ajoa scored 2 and Mahrez and someone else scored. I can't remember, but yeah. So not a happy hunting ground, home or away. So Leicester are hoping to keep on to 3 points. So then, now that's game week 12 moved out of the way. We have game week 13, and we're not going to dive into depth because we always say this, Chris, don't we? These are difficult to predict because you're only going off your own form guide because you're essentially creating your own form for this team, who they're playing. Doesn't matter if you've got Cardiff to win and Huddersfield to lose, you're thinking, well, I'd back Huddersfield to lose this game because they're you know, that if I want to win my points and whatnot, is how I'm predicting to go. So we're just kind of going to go through these, and I'm going to say, you're going to say yours, I'm going to say mine, and that means we're not taking the show on to 3 hours and doing a nip-in, because we could do that with these, and it's difficult to do. So, Chris, game number 1, Huddersfield versus Cardiff. Where have you gone, and what for?
I should have been ready for this, shouldn't I?
I just give you a minute and a half to prepare for it.
I was doing more preparing. Now, it's a difficult one, this one, isn't it? It's at Huddersfield, isn't it? So I'm going to go 1-1.
It's gone 1-1. It took you 4 games, if you include the one that we're going to rearrange with the Ipswich game in there. It took you 4 games to sit on that fence. And when you did sit on that fence, you did go 1-1. Game 1 of game week 13, you've gone 1-1. I think Huddersfield will win it. I've gone 2-1 Huddersfield. I think it's at Huddersfield. They'll nick it. They'll go 2-1. 2 teams that, well, one we both never speak that highly of, and one that's got to find some form somewhere. Millwall at home to Blackburn. Chris, still seeing Blackburn turning the form around, or you can give us something different?
1-0 Millwall.
You need to be careful, Chris. People will start saying you've got to get on something for Millwall here with you predicting them to win. I think you've got them 6 points from the weekend and midweek's games. I've gone 3-0 Blackburn. Wow. Yeah, I just think Blackburn are going to turn a corner, and in my infinite wisdom, that probably means I'm going to give you at least a point for your prediction on Millwall game there. I mean, we're talking about 2 teams next, Chris, that could be playoff rivals, if you will. I was going to say playoff buddies, but it wouldn't be that in that stage. Norwich at home to Middlesbrough. Where do you see this one going?
1-2.
1-2. You think Michael Carrick's red and white army will slowly come up? Well, I've gone 3-1 Norwich, funny enough. So, shows what we know. We played them at the weekend. Well, yeah, that's very true. And now you've said that, what should be 0-0 draw? Our opponents get back-to-back home games. Do Swansea? They're at home to Watford, who we were both generous to against Sheffield Wednesday for obvious reasons. Are you going to be as generous to Watford this time out, or do you think Swansea will bounce back from a defeat against the Foxes?
No, 3-0. 3-0 Swansea.
3-0 Swansea, very confident. I went 2-0 Swansea. I know we'd normally save this to the end if it was just 1 week, but because it's 2 weeks, we're going to rattle through them. You said this will be one of Leicester's toughest tests this season. Leicester, but they will be at home. Does that make you a bit more confident playing Sunderland?
Yes, it does. If we were playing away now, I think I would be going for a draw. We have got to get a draw, haven't we? 1-1.
Oh, there you go. He's back on his Splinter Cell fence. He's gone for 1-1. He's gone there. I've actually decided to keep the trend of the 3-0, and I've gone 3-0 Leicester. I just think it's a Leicester special. Look, we didn't think we'd put 4 goals past Blackburn or Southampton or Brentford and Preston, and we did. Why can't we do it to Sunderland, mate? When the expectations on Leicester to maybe slip up or struggle, we go and win. So why not? And this is why I'm bottom, folks. Our second bottom, but this is why I'm essentially going to be bottom by the time this one's gone through. It's the battle of the 3 initials. It's WBA versus QPR, or West Bromwich Albion versus Queen's Park Rangers. Where do you see this one going, Chris? I don't know, mate. I don't know how I managed to do that.
It's going to go one way. West Brom to QPR now.
You were so close yet so far. You nearly copied my homework, Chris. I went 2-1 West Brom. Now, a team that you despise versus the team that I called Scrooge McDuck in the first week. It's Birmingham at home to Hull. How many are Hull scoring?
Birmingham at home, aren't they?
Yeah.
1-1.
He's going for a 1-1. You're very splintery in this game week 13. This might be unlucky for some this week, being game week 13.
I've gone 1-1.
Well, I've gone 1-0 Hull. I think they'll sneak a win there. Hull. Now then, why have I not got this written down for mine? I don't have this written down for mine. Yes, I do. I'm looking at my league all wrong. I'm going blind. Now, obviously, Ipswich, we won't know how they're going to do. They'll get an extra bit of respite. I don't know if that's going to hinder them for this or help them. But they are away to Bristol City. Not playing, Ipswich will be looking and hoping Swansea can do them a favour in the weekend's game. Where are you going, mate? This is at home to Bristol City.
I love Bristol with the Leicester connection. 2-1 Ipswich.
2-1 Ipswich. Well, you've been kinder to Bristol than I have. I've gone 2-0 Ipswich. I don't think not playing Rotherham will hinder them at all. I think it'll just actually...
Yeah, we'll give the play.
Yeah, it is. Now, this one's a bit difficult because we really hate the team that they're against, but we don't hold much hope for the team that they're at home. Plymouth at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Has your hatred ruled your heart, Chris? What we got?
1-0 Plymouth.
1-0 Plymouth. It's swayed your vote. It's maybe not of completely Gullivan. Now, when they played Norwich at home, Plymouth, they won by 4 goals, didn't they, Chris? They won 6 goals to 2. I don't think it'd be that crazy, but I have taken the 4 into equation. I've gone Plymouth 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0, because I want to see them get relegated. I don't want to see them get any more points than they've already got. So I've gone Plymouth 4-0. Yeah, Gingsters get sponsored by Proper Pasty, and I might think better, for Plymouth as well. But they can have the win this week. We're into the final 3, and again, potential here for a potential playoff match in the end of the season. Preston at home to Southampton, Chris. Do I just put 1-1 down now, or are you actually going to pick?
I'm just trying to Southampton. They're really down in 15. In the form table. Preston are just dropping like a stone in the rain, can't they? 1-0 Southampton.
He's going for a 1-0 Southampton. I went 2-1 to Southampton. That was a difficult one to predict for me. This one, maybe not so difficult. The draw specialists, Coventry, are away again. They go back-to-back away games, but they are travelling to Rotherham. Surely it can't be 1-1 again, Chris, can it?
No, 2-0 to Coventry.
1 hour, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Just repeat that for me again, mate.
Why?
Just I didn't quite catch it. 1 minute, 8 for 40. Chris, that was 2-0 to Coventry, was it?
It was indeed.
It is. Okay, so you heard him say Rotherham 0, Coventry 2. Okay, because funny enough, you won't believe this, Chris.
Oh, no.
That's too late now. You're done for it. I have also gone 2-0 to Coventry. Okay, well, we'll give that one a miss. And here we are. We've got there in the end. In just over an hour it's taken us to do it, which isn't bad when we've been predicting 2 lots of football fixtures here. We have Stoke at home to Leeds. That boring versus Leeds for me. But where have you gone, Chris?
They say never play at Stoke, don't they?
That's very true.
3-0 Leeds.
1 minute, 1 hour,
No,
9
no,
minutes. No, ladies and gentlemen, 1 hour and 9. In fact, in less than a minute, Chris has agreed with me twice. I have gone Stoke City 0, Leeds United 3. What a way to say it. You know what that means, Chris? Me and you are this.
Elite. I am elite. I am proper elite.
No.
I am Dorinda.
Here is Rock. We're the best friends that anyone could have. Yeah, you did no, I wasn't taking you, changing your mind on that one, mate. When I heard you say 3-0 Leeds, I was locking it in. I'm sorry, them the rule. I don't make rules, I just enforce them, mate. Oh dear. Well, you've made my day. Oh, well, yeah, it's been a pleasure working with you for so long, mate. It won't be saying that if they're the only fucking results you pick up at the midweek.
No, that's true.
That's true. But Chris, as always, because it is your channel, and I have to say this, even though you don't pay me to say it, it's been a pleasure having you on. So our prediction skills have improved, like certain teams' forms in there.
I was happy with the results.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll pick up many a points beforehand. They won't mean too much. I'm sure you'll keep your 20-odd point gap that you've got over me, mate. I don't think you've got too much to worry about over the next week and a half.
And don't forget, everybody 2:15 tomorrow. Join us for the live watch along City versus Leicester City.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to seeing the team. I can't believe I'm saying that about a Leicester City team because we know there's going to be changes, but unlike a certain bell end, I'm looking forward to seeing who's getting in the picks.
This is the thing. It's so hard to predict. And I'm going to say, all the weekend fixtures are on Sky.
Wow.
Not the weekend. The midweek fixtures. Sorry.
I noticed that. I just saw that. It's all on Sky. That's very good of them, isn't it, to do that?
They've got these different buttons, so unless you've got to have Sky to watch it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes, of course. But at least they're making it worthwhile for what you're paying for, because Sky and all that can be a bit audacious for what they make you pay, can't they? So at least you've got an availability to watch it. If you don't have Sky yourself, maybe you know your neighbour's got it. Just ask him if you can pinch your Sky, and I don't know how you might feel about that. But yeah, make sure you've got that done. I mean, Chris, I will be joining you for the pre-match and half-time. Unfortunately, you'll be stuck with an Aussie down under because, well, if Leicester know anything about being top, technically on goal difference, they're joint top because they are one of only 4 teams left in the division that are undefeated. As you can see, they're above us. The Women's Super League, Leicester are looking to make it 4 games without defeat. They beat newcomers Bristol City, they beat Everton, and they got a very, very well-earned point away at Manchester United. Unfortunately, like a bad smell, we can't get away from Manchester. But if you're not able to get down to Swansea and watch Leicester take on Swansea all the way in Wales, at the King Power, so it'll be after the football, so you could just stay outside the King Power at 5 o'clock and head into the King Power. They are taking on Manchester City, and I will be doing a match review show on the Sunday because I won't be on the post-match here because I'll be watching my game so I can take notes for you all to do in my post-match show on the Sunday. So get yourself down to King Power and come on the show on the Sunday. Join in the conversation as Leicester. Well, Chris, they would be, if they were to somehow win this game, I think they'd only be 3 points off the total of points they got last season. Leicester.
I was to Maisie, who's a big Man United fan, big football fan. And she actually goes to a lot of Manchester United games. She didn't go to the Man United Leicester one, but I was talking to her afterwards, and she said, deserved point for Leicester, and you should have no problems this season.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that didn't, you can check it out on the channel. I had Jack on there from the Final Whistle. We did a transfer review showing the amount of quality players Leicester have brought in of international experience, Champions League experienced players. They are a force to be reckoned with. And like I said, Manchester United Chelsea, Man City are the only other sides that haven't suffered a defeat yet, and Leicester are the only other side with them that haven't lost a game either. And like I said, if it wasn't for goal difference, they would still be top of the league. So do go and show LTID TV2 your same love and support that you do here. And make sure you've hit the notification bell so you can join me for my match review show on Sunday. And if you are a big WSL fan, give me a message on Twitter or even during the show. I'd love to have someone on as a co-host that loves to talk women's football. So don't be afraid to message me if you want to come on the show. I'd love to have people on. But yeah, there's a shameless plug for the women's football, Chris. And
get over there, everybody, and subscribe. LTID TV2.
Easy for you to say.
You'll recognise it as soon as you find it because it's all very much the look of the channel and the artwork is basically the same as LTID TV1, just got women rather than men on it. But yeah, I mean, Leicester second in the Women's Premier League. The men can't do it, the women do.
I know, it's lovely to see. So yeah, thank you all for coming along tonight, getting involved with your predictions, and to anyone who already has shown us support on the second channel, we really do appreciate it. So thank you for that on there. And as always, Chris, you know what they say. Cheers, Nate. Thanks. See you tomorrow. That's when we'll see you. But as always, until the next show, as we always say, Chris here, come on, you foxes. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.